Hello, good afternoon, guys. Happy Friday, people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, beginning of the weekend. It's been so crazy here at Poku Law. We're, of course, grinding and representing immigrants across the United States, and our mission, we remain very focused and determined in our mission. Okay, yeah, of course, to represent immigrants. So welcome, guys. Welcome to this live video. If you happen to join us later, so we're spilling the tea this afternoon, this late afternoon. We're still talking about, well, we did a first part of the video on what's going on in Congress. So this is the latest update on, the status of the undocumented people, the budget reconciliation, what's going on with it. So yeah, let's chat about that. We'll go over the, what the budget reconciliation process is, and then we'll go over some pertinent facts. Okay, what's happening? So welcome, guys. Drop me your comments as always. Okay, so first of all, budget reconciliation. So it's a procedure that is used in Parliament in the US, okay, and it's set up to help them pass certain budgetary laws, laws that have to do with government taxes, spending, and federal investment in the United States Senate. Okay, so the reason why we have the budget reconciliation even featuring at this point is that budget reconciliation is a process whereby, the filibuster in Senate is overridden. Okay, as we all know, the filibuster rule is very a little cumbersome, because to be able to pass any type of law in Senate, you require a supermajority. Supermajority means you're looking for 60 votes out of 100. However, with the budget reconciliation, you just need a simple majority of votes, which is 51 out of 100. So that's easier to achieve. Of course, if you're trying to get 60 people out of 100 to say yes to you, it's more difficult than trying to get just 51 people to say yes to you. So of course, the budget reconciliation will allow Senate to override the filibuster rules, and then, the supermajority rules, and then just be able to advance the budget reconciliation, the immigration reform through budget reconciliation simply by 51 votes. And of course, we know Democrats are 50, and then with Kamala Harris, it's 51. So that's easy to achieve. They don't have 60 people. And of course, it will be really difficult to get 10 Republicans who are obviously against immigration reform to join them. So budget reconciliation is sort of like, a sneaky way to try to pass the immigration bill that will give about 8 or 11 million undocumented immigrants documents to live here in the US. I've heard a lot of my attorney colleagues say that this number is even underestimated, and that there are way more than 11 million undocumented immigrants. And when the bill is passed into a law, hopefully that's when we're going to see the real numbers. Some are estimating as many as 30 million undocumented people. Some estimate even more. So, well, we don't know. People are hiding. Of course, nobody's going to come out. It's very difficult to keep track of these undocumented people, because why should you keep track of me if you're not going to give me documents? So once the government decides to give them some pathway to citizenship, then we'll know what the real numbers are. Okay, so we've spoken about what budget reconciliation is. Because the procedure overrides the filibuster rules in Senate. Okay, so the budget reconciliation will just allow the immigration reform to advance by just a simple majority, 51 votes, as opposed to 60 votes where the supermajority votes of 60 votes if the filibuster applies. Okay, so of course, filibuster rules, it just means that it gives the senators the opportunity to continue to debate for a very long time without advancing the course of a bill. But with the budget reconciliation, there's limited debate. So I think it's 20 hours. You cannot keep going. You can't just, keep talking about it and do nothing about it. So it just really, really helps to streamline the legislative process. Okay. And as I always say, Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution gives Congress, the mandate to actually make rules for the United States. So that's where they derive the power. And the Congress is made up of the Senate and then the House of Representatives. With the House of Representatives, it's always by simple majority. So we don't have a problem there because the House of Representatives have, Democrats, from the major part of the representatives. So majority of them are representatives. So that's not a problem. The problem is kind of with Senate, where it's not the simple majority. Usually it's a super majority. And unfortunately, the Democrats are less than 60, the required votes for a super majority. So that's how come they have to go through the budgetary route. Okay. So, yeah, so normally budget reconciliation bills, as you guys also know, a bill is simply a proposal. It's not a law. A bill is, a draft that, oh yeah, how about we make this into a law? So that's the bill. It's like the text, the rough draft of what we're thinking about making into a law. So the budget reconciliation bill can deal with 3 areas. Okay, so spending, revenue, and federal debt limit. Well, it can deal with it, not necessarily 3 areas: spending, revenue, and then federal debt limit. And usually Senate can pass 1 bill a year affecting each of the areas. Okay. So let me read this. So Congress can thus pass a maximum of 3 reconciliation bills per year, though in practice it has often passed a single reconciliation bill affecting both spending and revenue. Okay, so the whole debate has become an issue of whether, immigration reform directly will affect the budget or will have a fiscal effect. Does it have to do with spending or revenue? The Republicans are saying that no, this is really a policy change under the guise of budget reconciliation, because there's the Baird rule where if things are extraneous to a budget, it cannot be passed. Bills that are extraneous to the budget cannot be passed through budget reconciliation. So they presented this bill to the parliamentarian, I think McDonough, last Friday, and she will make the decision on, she's the arbiter in the Senate to kind of decide whether really the immigration reform forms part of the budget reconciliation. Okay, so they are looking at actually legalizing the DACA recipients, TPS people, farm workers, and essential workers. I'll do another video where we'll discuss the actual text of the bill. It's quite short, and then we'll discuss it. And then the budget reconciliation is of course 3.5 trillion, but immigration, the immigration amount is $107 billion. That's the impact on cost and revenue. And so what they're saying is that, when the immigrants are going to be given a pathway to citizenship, they're going to be paying fees. There's going to be fee payment. Okay, the application process. The government will have to spend a lot of money, and then the immigrants will also pay taxes. They will pay taxes, and all these things have an effect on the budget. And so, it should be part of the budget reconciliation bill so that we can pass it easily. Okay, so yeah, let me see. Let's move on here. Guys, drop me your comments. I'll be reading soon. And let me know where you're watching from and how you are doing. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the argument of the Democrats is that the immigration reform is going to have a direct impact on cost and revenue. Of course, so I mentioned, talking about fees and taxes and all of that. Okay, so the Democrats believe that this is the best opportunity for us to get an immigration reform. If it doesn't come now, it might not ever come. So, of course, the House has already begun moving its immigration legislation through committee. So if they move the legislation through committee, the committee is the Judiciary Committee that's responsible. There are just so many various committees like Ways and Means, Housing Committee, Education, Agriculture. They are experts in these areas, and they make, laws regarding these areas. So if the immigration legislation has moved through committee, meaning they are, redrafting and substituting certain words and refining the language of the text, the immigration text, what the immigration law would be. Okay, so yeah, so of course the Democrats are hoping that the parliamentarian will deny, will refuse to accept that immigration reform is a budgetary matter. Okay, the Democrats are claiming it's a budgetary matter, and the Republicans are saying no, it's not. So it depends on what the parliamentarian will say. That's the McDonough, and then we'll see what will happen moving forward. Let me see if there's more we have to discuss. We've done 10 minutes already. My goodness. Okay, so one second, guys. Okay, yeah, we spoke about the 3.5 trillion. Okay. Okay, guys, so let's move on here. We have 13. Okay, so 13 House committees spent countless hours over the week, marking up legislation to meet the September 15th deadline. Okay, so this was last week. Yeah, they've been marking up the language of the text. I think it went through. They're done with that, so we're still waiting. Let me read a few comments. We have Kevin Wasike. Hello, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining. Hi. Hello, Angela. How are you doing? Oh my gosh. How is everything going? It's been such a long time. Happy to have you on here. Welcome. Okay, guys. So we're still talking about budget reconciliation. I think that we've covered a little bit. Next week, hopefully, I'll make some time, and then we'll talk about the text. What is really contained in the text. Maybe we could go over. No, I'm actually quite short pressed for time. I have it here, but yeah, the first part of the bill talks about the DACA recipients as the dreamers who came here under the age of 18 years when they entered, and they've been physically present from 1st January 2021. They've been in school, or they have a record of honorable service in, the U.S. Army, or in the uniformed services of the United States, or they have some schooling, and then they 3 years before the date that they try to adjust their status, they should have had a consistent record of earned income in the United States, or they are enrolled in a school program and they have current employment. So this is for the DACA people. These are the conditions for them being able to adjust their status. Adjustment of status means the process of applying so that you move from undocumented to documented. So they will adjust your status based on these criteria. If you are enrolled in a school program, you are currently employed in an internship program, and then the second part of the bill talks about undocumented immigrants. They have to have been physically present in the U.S. Since January 1st, 2021. And then B, they should have demonstrated a consistent record of earned income in the U.S. in an occupation that has been described as essential. So you should be an essential worker. There is the whole law on there's an advisory memo on who is categorized as an essential worker for the purposes of this bill. So that's what I spoke about, that we can do a live video discussing just essential workers, just a video on the essential workers. I've just pulled it up right here. We can just go, maybe just mention a couple of them. And then, okay, so for example, cleaning. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Yeah, so you have to fall under one of these. Yeah, so healthcare providers, including technicians, radiologists. Then we have emergency medical service workers, then workers needed to support transport to and from healthcare facility and provide appointments. So if you're a driver for a hospital or an emergency service, Then if you manage health plans, if you manage, laundry services, food services in the healthcare sector, donors of blood. Interesting. Wow. Workers at manufacturers, materials and part suppliers. If you work in the healthcare industry, and it's a really, 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 really broad definition. Essential workers, very, very broad. So that's really great. And you could also be a human service provider. You do home delivered meal providers for older adults, people with disabilities, people with chronic health conditions. If you provide assistance or support for older adults, people with disabilities, chronic health conditions, workers who provide human services, including social workers, nutritionists, case managers. If you're a mortuary service provider, it's a really, really long list. So all these people are, deemed to be essential workers according to the text, the bill. That will be, oh my gosh, what is going on? I'm sorry about that music you hear. I don't know why, when you just try to use the internet, sometimes it just surprise you with these adverts that you haven't asked for. Okay. All right, so guys, yeah, that was just a brief part of the text, the bill, of the bill. We will go into it later. Hopefully next week I'll have some more time so that we can discuss it. So yeah, we've just done an overview of what is, the budget reconciliation. How does immigration even come in? Who is going to be covered? What's happening in Congress, and we're waiting to see what that next move would be. And okay, so guys, yeah, as always, my number is 802-7800-564. Contact me if you need help with any type of U.S. immigration law matter. Oh, Kwame Ghana says, hello, lawyer. You are doing a great job. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate these very kind words. Yes. It's a tough job. Sometimes you sit out here and you wonder if, you're even making sense to anybody watching, because I say that, doing videos on legal issues is a very, very complicated and difficult, because legal, the appreciation of legal matters, not many people, find it entertaining, and it's just really tough, because I need to do a lot of studies and reading and a whole lot of analysis before I come and sit on here, so that I make sure I give you the best information that I can. Okay, friends, so please, I'm wishing you guys a wonderful weekend. Let me leave you. Please be safe, take care of yourself, and I will see you hopefully next week. Bye-bye.